What's up, everybody? It's Reed and Trey. We're here at the Flow Sports HQ talking about a big week here on FloGrappling. It is, of course, submission week. Very, very excited about this. Trey, how jacked up?
I'm jacked up, dude. I've heard about Shark Week. You know, who cares? Who cares about the Shark? I only care about the submissions, baby. And we're dedicating the whole week to just that. The pinnacle of the sport, the submission.
It is what we are all here to see. So we decided to dedicate an entire week to some of our favorite submissions, some of the most prolific and badass submissions in the history of jiu-jitsu. We're gonna be talking about some crazy submissions all week long, but today I want to talk a little bit about signature submissions. Now, let's kind of define this a little bit about what does a signature submission mean in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, so they wouldn't let me show some of my signature subs I like to hit on Reed in the gym. So for this topic, we're going to be talking about submissions that are synonymous with an athlete. Whenever you see this submission, you immediately think of one of the athletes who's known for it. We're talking about the Ruotolo Darce, the Tarikoplata, the Estima lock, anything that pretty much is either named after someone or you know they're gonna hit it from anywhere on the mat when they take the mat.
You know, some of these guys, when they get to the very top level, to have a submission that you are known for, nothing is cooler than that, in my opinion. So let's talk about a couple of our favorite signature submissions here. Trey, why don't you kick us off? What's burning on the top of your brain here as one of your favorite signature submissions?
Listen, I'm a little younger, you know, I like the new school, I like what these kids are doing, so I already mentioned it once, but I gotta kick things off with the Ruotolo Darce, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing cooler than seeing Cade and Ty sink in the Darce. You know, Ty's even, you know, he's got his Darce intro, and now he gets hyped up anytime he comes out, but these guys are so smooth with it. You can just tell they're built for the Darce.
Yeah.
Whenever you see these guys, they got long arms, you know. I think one of my favorite times I remember Cade hitting the Darce is on Who's Number One up against Ethan Krellinston. I think that went on to win Match of the Year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And so, incredible match. Cade just had a little fro at the time, you know. It wasn't all the way out here just yet. It's just always exciting knowing that at any point in time, the Ruotolos can shoot it from pretty much anywhere at this point.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have been doing the Darce choke since they were like 3 years old. You know, they've been good at the Darce choke since they were 5. It carried with them orange belt, blue belt, and to now see them, we just saw them last week, Ty hit a Darce choke in the IBJJF World Championships. I believe it was a maybe a qualifying match. You know, he's a black belt now throwing up Darces.
In the gi.
Yeah, in the gi. So these guys can hit this stuff, you know, all over the place from any angle. And yeah, that's a pretty sick one for sure, one that comes to mind for me, it's been one of my favorite submissions, you know, really almost my entire jiu-jitsu career. The first time I saw you know, Tarek hit this submission was at the IBJJF European Championships, and it's rare you see somebody kind of really bring a new submission to the table, but that's what Tarikoplata did, Norway's own Tarek. If you haven't heard of it now, the Tarikoplata, it swept jiu-jitsu these last couple years, and really in the gym, there's nothing sweeter than hitting a Tarikoplata. I love hitting the Tarikoplata. It really is one of my favorite submissions. And yeah, you know, you can see Tarek these days even still hunting after the Tarikoplata from guard, from top. There's so many different setups to it and everything like that. Our own Chase Smith actually got to go out to Europe and do a seminar with Tarek where he kind of really broke down exactly the details on how to finish this submission. So if you guys haven't checked that out, definitely go on the site, FloGrappling, and look up Tarikoplata, Tarek teaching it right on our site. One of the best, flashiest, sickest submissions in my opinion, and it's named after Norway's own Tarikoplata. Pretty sick one.
And it is the sickest submission to hit in training. You'll still a lot of the times find you can hit it in your gym, people have no idea what just happened. They have no idea what you did, and you know, if you're like me, you don't even tell them. You just walk off and say, I'll show you again next time we roll, bro. You got any other signature ones that stand out at Reed?
Yeah, definitely add that one to the arsenal if you guys aren't hip to that. The Tarikoplata, great submission to have in your back pocket. But you know another signature submission that we haven't really mentioned that growing up as a blue belt, purple belt, I remember watching quite a bit and just being in awe of, and that is Magid Hage's baseball bat choke. If you don't know, Magid, really was known in the gi for putting people to sleep with the baseball bat choke. And one of the most brutal, one of the most badass things, watching as a blue belt, as a white belt, purple belt growing up, is seeing a guy kind of get his guard passed and then that guy get choked unconscious. It's something that's like hard to compute when you're young in your jiu-jitsu career. And so for that reason, I've always been fascinated with the baseball bat choke and always been fascinated with, Magid in his entire career. Obviously, he's out there killing it in the no-gi scene now, but really he grew up as a gi guy in the gi, hitting baseball bat chokes left and right. I remember, several years ago going to the Mexico City Open, winning double gold actually there, but also seeing
any baseball bat chokes?
Yeah, no, I didn't hit any baseball bat chokes.
Oh, okay.
A lot of Ezekiel chokes that day, but I remember going to Mexico down there, and Magid was down there, and Magid was choking a bunch of these Mexican black belts out with his signature baseball bat choke, and it's something that is coming. It's something that you maybe shouldn't pass the guard here, but it's just so enticing. You're like, the knees are open, I can just slide right through, past the guard, take side control, and then suddenly you're waking up and the ref's holding your legs.
Big fan of the baseball bat choke as well, but now we got to play the hits. You can't beat the classics. We got to go back to a classic. I'm talking about signature submission that is one of the OG signature submissions, Hage Gracie and the cross choke. It doesn't get any cooler than Hage Gracie mounting somebody and just, it's coming. He's just taking his time. That pressure's already killing you. And then all of a sudden he gets both the grips and he's sinking in a cross choke. Me and Corey flew out to London and listen, I had a hurt rib. I was competing hard at Euros, doing my thing. Didn't go my way, but whatever. So I couldn't roll with Hage, but Corey did. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I watched Hage just over and over mount Corey and just tell him, he'd whisper in his ear that the cross choke is coming and just let him know in advance, and he slowly would choke him. But I think another cool thing about Hage and the cross choke is now Hage Gracie. Yeah. We're seeing him in competition hitting cross choke over and over. He recently just won brown belt Worlds Absolute. Did he get a cross choke in the finals or just on his way to the finals?
I believe it was the semifinals of his weight class, actually.
Okay, weight class.
Yeah, it was when he got the cross choke from Mount with Roger and Kira just kind of watching right next to him.
It doesn't get cooler than that, man. You got Hage Gracie in your corner, you're hitting a cross choke in front of him. So I'm a big fan of the cross choke. I like watching old footage of Hage hitting it, and now I like seeing Hayron, kind of carry that into the new generation.
Carrying the torch.
You got anything else? Any other signature submissions like
that? Man,
that?
there's so many good signature submissions. Barrett Yoshida's assassin choke, I think, deserves a mention. The Estima brothers, and talking to them about how they kind of developed the Estima lock and would hit the Estima lock throughout, no-gi world on every match. And of course, there's no video of it because it was several years ago. They got a sick one, but there's so many great submissions out there. That's what makes this such a fun week. But definitely, if you guys think we missed any submissions, or if you got a favorite submission, or maybe you yourself have your own signature submission, definitely let us know in the comments what we're sleeping on, what we need to be watching, what we need to be checking out and featuring on this week. Of course, it's submission week, so stay tuned, guys. We got a lot of plans. It's gonna be a fun one. See you guys later.